So, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your evening to learn a little bit more about our Associates in Nursing program. So, the ASN program here um, on behalf of Commonwealth University and the Briner School of Nursing. So, my name is Bryson Purcell. I'm our Director of Admissions and based out of the Lock Haven campus. And I'm joined here by my colleague, and I'll allow her to introduce herself and just kind of give you a little overview of the program.
Hi, thank you, Bryson. I'm Dr. Kim Olszewski. I'm the Senior Associate Dean at the Briner School of Nursing. And as we mentioned here, Commonwealth University, you see the three logos here on this screen, came about, and if you aren't familiar, in 2022 when we merged Lock Haven University, Bloomsburg University, and Mansfield University. And when we did that integration, that's the word we used, integration, we integrated the three universities together. The Briner School of Nursing was formed. And the reason we were formed is because we have an excellent nursing program that goes from the associate degree all the way up to a doctoral degree.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things in the middle there too, and we can talk a little bit about a couple of things in the middle. But what we're here tonight to talk about is the associate program. So with that, Bryson, I don't know if you want me to take this slide or if you want
Yeah,
to
we'll
talk.
just give a little overview of the program and kind of where it stemmed from and where we're heading, honestly. So the ASN program, the traditional ASN pathway is 4 semesters or 2 years in length, and it is a fall start only. So the nursing courses are nursing one in the fall, nursing two in the spring, and then that second year is nursing three in the fall and four in the spring, right? So work your way right through it. We do have an advising pathway, which is an LPN to RN pathway for folks who already have earned that LPN license, right? So you are maybe out there working in the field, full-time, part-time, potentially in various different office settings or hospital networks, and looking to come back and earn that RN degree, right? So we are going to essentially put you into year two of the program and give you that advanced standing. So what goes along with that? Essentially, you are cutting off nursing one and nursing two. So that first year, as well as some other general education courses. That way, we have the prerequisite courses within the admission standards. So we want to make sure you have the prerequisites there. So that way you are totally skipping semester one and two and entering essentially in semester three. And we can go into a little bit more detail in there in a little bit, but the NCLEX pass rate for 2024 was 96%. So something that we're super proud of. And just showcasing the excellent curriculum and faculty and resources that Commonwealth University has in order to leverage that end goal of the RN, right? That's the end goal, and potentially add some other letters after it with one of our graduate programs moving forward. But that's the NCLEX is the standardized nursing exam at the end of your program in order to become an official registered nurse. So making sure that our graduates are set up for success, which leads right into a 100% job placement rate. Nurses are high in demand. Dr. O and we're just chatting about the amount of questions that we're fielding from potential applicants just because the nursing field is booming at this point, coming off of the pandemic and just things kind of going back to normal. Normal is a funny word though, right? And then we'll talk a little bit about our nursing scholars program. We have some agreements with local hospital networks in order to potentially pay back some of that student loan debt that you may be taking out in order to get that RN degree, and then help with job placement as well. So we'll go into that a little bit more here shortly. And then I will turn it over and go into a little bit more about the coursework that you'll take throughout the program.
Thank you. I'll make a comment on the previous slide, actually two comments. Nursing, I get the question all the time, what's the difference between an associate degree nurse and a bachelor's degree nurse? And you will take the same NCLEX examination and become a registered nurse. So that's the state board that you have to take to get your license. So the difference between the two is really 2 years and 4 years. And many of and you're all here to hear about the associate program, which is a 2-year program. As Bryson said, it's 4 semesters, pretty intense. We have you doing clinical right from day one. And you get through those 4 years and you're eligible to sit for the exam. Many of our students in the ASN program actually take the bachelor's, like 300 and 400 level courses alongside of their coursework for their ASN to kind of get a jump start if they want to then take the RN to BSN program, which is, you know, a quicker path a little bit than 4 years. You can do it shorter than 4 years and come out with a bachelor's degree. So I know it sounds a little confusing, but I get that question all the time, and I'm sure Bryson does too, on what's the difference between the 2 degrees? And, you know, if I decide I want to come back and get my bachelor's degree, can I do that? The answer is yes, you certainly can do that. And first, let's talk about the associate kind of pathway. The courses that you see here are what we require you to take, and then you have some flexibility and options on some what we call general education. And some of our students, as I mentioned, take some of those RN to BSN courses alongside to keep, because you might be coming to us with some credits already and you want to stay at full time at 12 credits. We allow you to do that if you have a GPA in good standing. So we require you to take a lifespan course. So you got to know about really the development across the lifespan. That's you know, very foundational to what you do as nurses. We have a composition course, which is required. Anatomy and physiology, we have 2 semesters of that. That is really that, and is the hard science that we really need to have you have a solid understanding to get the basics of anatomy and physiology. So that's a requirement. History and communication, you get some options with creativity for the gen eds, for the arts. So a lot of students get to explore what they want to do there. And then we divide the nursing coursework over those 4 semesters among the first one being foundations, where you kind of learn the nursing process, learn how to do therapeutic communication. We talk to you about documentation, and then we kind of ramp things up a little bit harder. And you're, you know, in that first semester, you might be working at an assisted living facility or a long-term care facility with your residents. You move into a med surg position by your second semester, where you're actually in the hospital setting and working with medical surgical patients. And we also add in maternity in semester 2, followed by semester 3, where you do adult health and you get some more experience like with ICU and more intense, you know, kind of intensive care opportunities. And then we end it with psych, mental health, and then some leadership at the end. And then that last course is nursing transition. And that's, you know, 4 semesters goes by incredibly quick. It may not seem like it, it goes by incredibly quick. So that transition course helps you transition to think about transitioning into your role as a practicing nurse. And we help you in that course taking NCLEX style test questions. We have some programs to help you kind of off your phone. There's mobile apps that we give you to help download for questions that you're constantly thinking about, kind of how are these test questions going to look when I need to sit for my boards. We prepare you for that from day one. And if you saw from the statistic there, and that's a really important statistic that Bryson had up here, 96% pass rate the first time they take the exam. So incredibly proud of that statistic. Our faculty work really, really hard with you to make sure that you're successful and well prepared to go out into the nursing field. As far as placement, nurses are hot commodities right now in every setting, whether that be home care, telemed, in a hospital. There's so many things you can do. Pennsylvania is going to lead the nursing shortage in 2026. You all will be coming right out in the midst of when there's a tremendous shortage. So what I'm trying to say is the options are going to be plentiful. And you're really entering a very good field at a very good time. Next slide. So degree requirements, if you add those all together, it comes up to, I believe, 63 credits. And that will get you your associate degree. And pretty much where you see year 1, year 2, you're going to follow in that pattern. And the reason I say that is because some of those courses are a prerequisite to the next. In other words, you got to master the content in one course before we have you take, say, nursing 2. You have to master the content in nursing 1 to get to nursing 2. So nursing, I don't care where you go to school or what curriculum you look at, is very prescriptive in what you have to take. So the 63 credits is pretty much what you're going to find. It's between 60 and I've seen as high as 67 for ASN programs. Our program's at 63, and we just redid our curriculum. We feel that it's state of the art and competency based to get you well prepared to be a nurse.
Yep. And this does a really good job here of kind of highlighting the nursing one, nursing two, three, and four. So especially those with the LPN license already, you would want to focus in more on the second year or nursing three and four section there at the bottom. So good way to kind of map it out for your next 4 semesters. Clinical rotations.
As I mentioned, each course has a different focus. So the foundations course, we typically use long-term care settings, or assisted living settings, where you can really sit one-on-one with your patient and really start refining those skills. So we utilize a variety of different places to capture that foundations course. When you get into the medical surgical component, which is your second semester, our partners, and these are just some of our partners. These are the bigger partners that we have. We have a lot of other partners. UPMC in Williamsport and Lock Haven, we utilize their facilities even down into Muncie for maternity and for med surg. Mount Nittany, Penn Highlands are more to the west of us. When I say us, I'm in Lewisburg right now, but when I'm thinking about Lock Haven, it's more to the west of Lock Haven. We utilize their facilities. Mount Nittany's in the State College area. We have Geisinger, kind of right in the center of our Commonwealth University footprint in Danville. We do have, other sites up in Muncie. Geisinger has a site in Muncie. They have a site in Lock Haven. So there might be opportunities where you're at a Geisinger facility. And then Wellspan Evangelical Hospital is where I'm at now in Lewisburg. And they, have opportunities for us in med surg and maternity. And behavioral health, we utilize UPMC for that typically. And geriatrics, as I mentioned, long-term care. We have a lot of long-term care facilities and assisted living. So you can see we have a variety of partners, and our partners have been very gracious to allow our students to be in their sites, and they get a tremendous experience based on all the technology and everything that's going on in these institutions. It's just amazing.
Absolutely. And it gives them a good mix of small, big hospital networks, or potentially a smaller, long-term assisted living facility, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So preparing the graduates for life after the graduation stage.
And a lot of times our students will end up working at one of those big partners that were just up there, or any of their clinical partners, because you establish a comfort level and a relationship when you're there. And a lot of times they will talk to you. We have our clinical partners talk to our students all the time about, there's pretty hefty sign-on bonuses right now and tuition reimbursement. And they're going to kind of court you too, because they want you to come work for them. So we try and let you know when there's opportunities, because we know college is expensive, and we also know that you want to have a job lined up when you walk out the door. So again, those are just a snapshot of probably just some of our partners. We do have a lot. The further north you go towards our Mansfield facility, and the further east you come towards Bloomsburg and the Lehigh Valley, we have a lot of clinical connections.
Absolutely.
So we work you in that. You can see that's a mannequin. I hope you can see that's a mannequin there on the left for simulation. We have a simulation center, and we're actually growing the Lock Haven Simulation Center this summer. And we have what they call high fidelity and low fidelity. High fidelity are the mannequins that literally cry, blink, birth babies, anything that pretty much a human can do, we can have that mannequin do. But the thing with that is it's in a safe environment. So you're learning there. You can see there she's learning to do an IV stick. I can tell you from experience, I've been a nurse 35 years now. Learning on a mannequin versus learning on a real person is so much easier. So we put you in the environment where you can hone those skills and get them refined, and then you go out and you do it in the clinical setting. So the low fidelity is our skills assessment lab. We have you practice things like inserting Foley catheters and learning how to do blood pressures and med calculations and med passing. We do that in an environment that's very safe. And like I said, that you can refine those skills, you get feedback from your faculty, and then you go out into the clinical setting and practice those skills. Practice sessions, students work together a lot of times in the skills lab. If you know you want to practice giving injections, that you can take time and go into the skills lab. We have the opportunity for that. And externships, as I mentioned, clinical partners will let us know all the time and say, hey, between that year 1 and year 2, we'd love to have you come work, the summer with us and get some experience. There's a lot of clinical partners that do that. And a lot of students take advantage of that. So please be on the lookout for that. And I strongly encourage it. It helps you in your final year as being a student with us. Nursing scholars, we actually work with Commonwealth has an agreement with a company called Noodle. And nursing scholars, it is Noodle, but they're also, as I mentioned, they help place a lot of our students after the fact. I shouldn't say a lot. I mean, we just developed a relationship probably the last 2 years, but they'll also help you find and navigate opportunities for not only some loan repayment and finding a job that might be a good fit for you, but it's another way to kind of get those tuition loans down, if you're thinking about it. And some of them are as high as they'll give you a $20,000 a year sign-on bonus, so it's pretty significant. I only anticipate that going up as the shortages continue. But after graduation, usually there's a small commitment. Obviously, they want to make sure you stick around. So 2 to 3 years, and that's typical. That's very typical. But the job placement rates are just, outstanding. As you can see there in 24, it was 100%. Again, just one more tool, separate from Commonwealth University. It's just a partnership that we have as a way to meet the demand of all of our clinical partners that need nurses.
Absolutely. As we said, job outlook, looking fantastic, if I do say so. As we continue to move forward and kind of get to that cliff, if you will, nursing will just become more and more popular. So we are here for the long haul and going through the different options here. So, we talked a lot about the ASN program and the structure and clinical rotations and things, essentially life as a student within the ASN program. But then we do have various kind of paths underneath it, if you will. So one of them that is pretty popular and can be done in conjunction with the ASN program is the RN to BSN program. So like Dr. Olszewski was talking about, we sometimes have students that are essentially working toward that bachelor's degree while they're in the associate's degree, because the general education courses can be used, both sides essentially. We're seeing a lot more students coming from high school with college credit, whether that be dual enrollment, the Commonwealth, early college program, AP scores, things of that nature. So being able to utilize those credits, but then also work toward that bachelor's degree is a win-win situation, right? So you're utilizing both of those. So if you have already are working in as an RN and are just looking to come back and earn that bachelor's degree for maybe a supervisory position or a management level position to move up within a healthcare system or wherever you're employed, it can be completed 100% online, which is key for working professionals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you're working through those general education courses and the last nursing courses in order to receive the baccalaureate degree, it's kind of flexible in terms of you can log on during the day, or if you're working swing shift or different shifts throughout the months, it doesn't really matter what time you log in because most of them are available asynchronously. So you log in as you're able to and kind of work toward that that bachelor's degree at your own pace. So sometimes we have students coming part-time and taking maybe one or two courses per semester and kind of chip away at it. And then we also may have some students coming right from high school as a traditional, college age student, as a first year student, and then moving in, but they want that 4 year experience, right? And that's what kind of makes the ASN unique in terms of the other programs within the Briner School of Nursing, is that it is a 2 year program, but then you have the 4 year college atmosphere or college experience, right? So I sometimes have student athletes that may enter this ASN program, but then choose to enroll right into the RN to BSN pathway, so that way they have those 4 years of college lifestyle of does that make sense, Dr. Olszewski? Does that
It does. And I just want to highlight, there's four courses that we listed there as examples. You can see they're very different than the courses that I told you that are part of your 63 credits. Nursing informatics is a huge, huge field that's really starting to come. And we actually have a master's program in nursing informatics. But the bachelor's, courses kind of are very different and have you thinking more along the lines of leadership and some of the global health. And not that we don't put that in our curriculum, but these are things, and nursing research is also another course here. But these are courses that, really kind of are different, and that's where that bachelor's component comes in. But Bryson's correct. It's online, asynchronous. It's ideal for the working professional. So you finish your ASN, you pass your NCLEX, we automatically put you in the RN to BSN program, because that's another pathway, if you will. And then you'll finish that degree at 120 credits. So you're well on your way when you're done with that associate degree. And many of our students, I don't have the statistics in front of me, but many of our students do that and jumpstart their way to that BSN.
absolutely?
And there's no exam at the end of that one. You already got your RN, so there's no exam at the end of the RN to BSN.
You make it to that 120 credits, right?
Yep, but you get to walk the nice walk at graduation for a baccalaureate then. So you get to walk twice, actually. This is some of our master's programs. After you finish that 4 year degree, we'd love to have you stay on with us. We can get you all the way to a doctoral degree. These MSN courses or programs are actually asynchronous and online as well, largely. We have a nurse practitioner program that is top notch, 100% pass rate. We have an adult health focus and a family nurse practitioner focus. And there is some synchronous time there because there's a lot of clinical hours with that. But they're all online. We have students from all across the state. And our nurse anesthesia program, we attract, that's in conjunction with Geisinger, we attract students from all across the country coming in for that program, highly competitive. We have a DNP program. It's a doctorate in nursing practice. It's the terminal degree in nursing. That happens to be the terminal degree that I hold. There's also PhDs. I'm sure you'll see that behind people's names, but the terminal degree for nursing is DNP. And we offer that as a postmaster's, or for someone that's like a nurse practitioner like I am, or we have a DNP nurse executive for someone who wants to have that terminal degree in more of a leadership executive role. So essentially, we can get you to anywhere you would like to be in your career pathway right at Commonwealth University.
Absolutely. So just go over application and admissions process, right? I wouldn't be the admissions guy if I didn't talk about the application, right? So the undergraduate associates program goes through the Commonwealth University traditional application. So it's completed online through our website, and personal email address, create a password, you'll work through it. The biggest thing there is when you are selecting your degree type, you're going to make sure that you're selecting associates. So a lot of students automatically revert to bachelor's, but that is for the BSN program. So you'll see an associates program, you'll see nursing ASN, and you'll select that option within the application. We do have a $35 application fee that is submitted at the end of your application. It is waived if you join us on any of our Commonwealth campuses. So if you are interested in coming and taking a tour of campus before the application opens up, we definitely encourage you to reach out and let us know. We'd be happy to have you and on a student-led tour of any of our campuses. So we would be happy to have you. And then in return, you're essentially getting your $35 application fee waiver. So we'll move past that payment page and you'll be able to submit it right there. And then you are able to submit your transcripts via an unofficial copy or a student copy, some school districts will call it, if you are coming right from high school. So you'll be able to upload that if you have it saved as a photo or a PDF on your computer or your cell phone. You'll be able to upload that and fulfill that requirement right away. And then the biggest thing for the ASN program is the TEAS exam. So it is our nursing entrance exam, essentially. We want to make sure that you have the foundational knowledge before stepping right into nursing one, like we were talking about, right? You're getting right into the field. You're hands-on right away. So we want to make sure that you have core competencies within different aspects like anatomy and physiology, biology, chemistry, to make sure that you are set up for success on day one. So that test is administered online. You would pick your time and date that works best for you. It's proctored via a webcam, like an online testing service. But then we also do offer it at our Bloomsburg testing center, which is located right across the street from Commonwealth University Bloomsburg campus. So if you would prefer to be in person, maybe that just works better for you and you feel like you're in a testing environment. You can schedule it there or complete it 100% online via webcam testing. So after that, once you hit submit, you'll get your scores right away, which is really nice. You don't have to wait for them to be processed and sent back in angst. And then a copy of those scores will be sent over to my office, so to the admissions office. And once we have all of those things collected, we will review the application. And then we want to make sure that you have the academic requirements in there. And these are set by the nursing program. So we want to make sure you have at least a 2.7 GPA or higher. So if you're coming right from high school, that would be your high school GPA. If you are coming as a transfer student, it would be your cumulative GPA from everywhere that you've attended. So if you've attended more than one school, it's cumulative, all of your credits kind of rolled up into one. And then we want to make sure that you have the ABCs, as we call them. So algebra, biology, and chemistry. So we want to make sure that you had the exposure to these three main areas, especially jumping right into the clinical portions of it. So as we're reviewing the application, we want to make sure that you have these. So I'm looking for all three of these to make sure that you had those either at the high school level or at the college level. And that it had a lab component because that's super important. We want to make sure that you had hands-on experience within these courses. But again, they could be completed at the high school level or the college level. So wherever you can get those. And then from there, we will collect all of your information. We will evaluate all the applications and then make offers from there. So I want to leave some time for if anyone has questions for us, we would be happy to answer them. I know there can be a lot of questions circling around nursing and the curriculum and kind of how the program is structured. So we're happy to answer any of those. And if not, we really appreciate you taking some time out of your evening to join us and learn a little bit more about the ASN.
I'll just add, if you think of something after we close out tonight's webinar, if you go on Commonwealth University's nursing webpage, and we have one for the associate program, my contact information is right on the webpage. So, please reach out because inevitable. I know if it's me, as soon as I close out something, I thought, oh, I forgot to ask that question. Bryce and I are available anytime. And we get questions. We were just saying all the time about, what about this or what about that? And it's a big decision. We understand that. So please reach out. I think we have a question.
Yeah, so when are the applications due? So for fall of 2026, so coming up for next year, the application will open in mid-July. So I'm hoping right around July 15th. And then our first deadline is December 1st. And then our final deadline there is April 1st. The LPN to RN, if you're interested in that pathway, our priority consideration for that one is March 1st because there is the NACE exam that is required in there as an additional requirement for the LPN students in there. So we want to allow them a little bit extra time to take that.
We have a question in the chat. It said, can I stay on campus if taking the associate's degree? Yes, absolutely. You can stay on the Lock Haven campus. I don't know if you have anything additional to add there, but we have a lot of students that do. So certainly a fine option.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, we have suite style living on Lock Haven's campus, as well as traditional style. So as long as you're enrolled, full time, you're welcome to stay with us here on campus in whatever format works best for you.
Next question is, are first years allowed to have a car? If not, how do we get to clinicals? I'm not aware of any restrictions on the Lock Haven campus for first year students. And we encourage you to have a car because of the clinical sites. And you are going to have to drive to clinical. We try and be mindful of that. Usually not more than a half hour to an hour is at the most. But we do encourage that you have a car or carpool. A lot of students will ride together, and it's a nice way to get ready for your day or debrief from your day to and from clinical.
Yeah, super easy process. It's all consistent across them. So parking pass, you're able to have it as a first year student or transfer commuter, anyone is able to do that. And then it is $80 for the year. So it's $40 a semester for your parking pass and you're ready to go. Let's see here.
Which locations offer the associate's degree? Right now we have it at Clearfield and Lock Haven. There's two campuses for Lock Haven proper called the Clearfield campus and the Lock Haven campus. This fall will be the last admitting class for Clearfield. So it will be offered exclusively at our Lock Haven campus. Not to say that it may never make it to the other campuses, but right now the associate program is located on our Lock Haven campus.
How's the balance for student athletes? Great question. So as part of my role, I kind of assist with all of the incoming student athletes for Lock Haven's campus. So if you are an incoming student athlete, you'll hear from me at some point for sure. It's a delicate dance, I will say. So that's the phrasing I use with some of my student athletes. Time management is going to be super crucial for you, but it is absolutely doable. We've had plenty of student athletes go through the program, graduate, and become successful, nurses, nurse practitioners, all kinds of successful alumni out there while also being a collegiate athlete. So it is definitely doable. And if you are interested in the nursing program, we do have some student athletes in it. And if you want to, connect with one of those, feel free to reach out to me and I can connect you with one to kind of learn from the experts there of how they balance that course load. How would we know if college level courses taken in high school would transfer in? So good question there. So college level courses, if you're taking them dual enrolled, so you're still in high school, but either traveling to a community college or university, either at night or, part day, whatever kind of format works best there, or you're bringing in AP scores. So on the admissions transfer website, you'll see a tool called PA Track, and you can go on to that website, enter in what university the course was hosted through, what course you took, and see exactly how it will move over into Commonwealth. If you have a specific course or anything, you can feel free to shoot me a message. I can let you know there. And then AP scores 3 or higher, and then we just need a score report sent over from College Board. So if you score a 3 or higher on that, we'll award academic credit, at the collegiate level, as long as we get the score report sent over. And they would show up on your transcript just like a regular course.
Affiliations with children's hospitals. Yes, Geisinger Medical Center has a children's hospital. I don't know if our associates program is going to that children's hospital. I can double check with, pediatrics, I can tell you is a challenge, getting enough pediatric experience. But that would be in our footprint, the only major health institution that does have a children's hospital that we utilize.
Okay.
LPN to RN classes are actually in person. It's year 2. We do not have any part of our associate program online. So yes, it would be in person. It's the RN to BSN component. If you choose to do that at the end of the RN program or ASN program, that would allow you to be, online.
If you want to set up a tour, yes. If you want to set up a campus tour, feel free to reach out to my office, the admissions office. So you can either email us admissions@commonwealthu.edu, or visit the main visit webpage, commonwealthu.edu/visit. Or you can just feel free to give us a call Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. We're there. So 570-484-2027. We'll get you right to the front desk at Lock Haven, and we'll be happy to take you on a tour of campus. We are transitioning some of the lab equipment to Lock Haven's campus, so we don't have that set up just yet, but
All summer, that's the summer
works.
project. That's gonna all be redone, so, we'll be able to showcase the simulation equipment, for the fall semester, but we're gonna be in transition time here between now and August. So, but we'd love to show you the campus.
Yep, absolutely. And hoping it's all ready to go by open house time, and then we'll show it all off then.
Really good questions, and as I mentioned, if you do think of something after we close out tonight's webinar, please, please reach out, because it is pretty, complex. It looks like it shouldn't be for 4 semesters, but there's a lot of moving parts in those 4 semesters. So we know there's gonna be questions for sure.
Absolutely. I think that's all we have. I don't see any others unless you have anything on your end. But again, really appreciate you all taking some time out of your evening. I know it's a very busy time of the year. So just really appreciate that taking that time. Or if you're, watching the recording later on, thanks for taking time out of your day. So we will follow up with you all who are in the audience now, and just with the recording of this, and then we'll get it posted online. And then again, if you have any questions or anything, feel free, give us a call. Give my office a call. You can feel free, ask for me if you need to. And we can chat more about the requirements and the program in general. But again, 2026 will go open in July, and we will do our first round after December 1st.
I think we just got another question, Bryson.
Still accepting applications for the Clearfield campus for this fall. We are. So if you are interested for the fall 25 semester, so this upcoming August, we do still have some seats available for the Clearfield campus. So this will be the last traditional full ASN cohort coming through. So if you're interested in that, definitely feel free to reach out to us as soon as possible and get all of your materials in. Make sure you have those prerequisite courses. Definitely encourage you to go onto the ASN program website and look over the admissions next, step-by-step guide on there to make sure that you have everything and you're ready to go for this fall.
I'd just like to say thank you. We know you have lots of choices out there for your educational opportunities. And I want to say thank you for considering Commonwealth University. Again, we know it's a big decision and there's lots of things that factor in. I think our pass rates and talk to our students will speak to the quality of the program. And we're excited to show it off and have you come to campus and take a look at it. And I want to thank you. Hopefully our paths cross in the near future.
Absolutely.